If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
We're joined by Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl this morning, fresh off re-election last Tuesday. And Mayor, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Jimmy Dale. Thank you.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A very surprising Monday morning.
Absolutely. You've had time to reflect a little bit on the re-election, and people have to admit that was a strong performance with 6 candidates in the field. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you very much. It was quite surprising. I was expecting a runoff in that respect, but we know what the people want, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
That's who counts.
So what happens next? I know you've got plans for the next 4 years. Can you talk about any of that this morning?
Well, we've already got projects on the table. We need to follow through with them. Our TAP grants from 5th to 6th Street, we're going to finish. That'll be the first project that they'll be starting on. ED&T Engineering will be starting on that pretty soon. Of course, we have the backside of 2nd and 3rd Street on the east side. They're going to be looking at those alleyways. We have some issues there that some of the property owners have, and those are going to have to be resolved. But they've already made some changes, ED&T, and that was about $18,000 we had to do to make these changes. So it's not cheap when you do these things.
Sylacauga is prone to flood in certain areas, and boy, we had some rain yesterday afternoon. Where are we as far as, we've got particular areas that are really a problem when it rains?
And a lot of it's downstream. That's where we go. But our city now, with its track hole, back hole, and its front end loaders and all, we'll be able to handle this a little bit better. And of course, the proposal I made to the council to contract somebody for certain green spaces throughout the city, around the welcome signs, the main corridors and all that, contract that work, take that pressure off of our street department. Let them get to the big jobs that we need to get done. Let's
talk a little bit about the census. I know that's been a concern of yours for Sylacauga. Is that improved?
It has improved a little bit. We're back up, the nation's back up, the state's back up, our city's back up a little bit, but we're still not where we need to be. We still need to talk to our people. They got door to door now. They're going back to the houses that were sent packages and they did not respond. They'll be doing that. But it is very important. It's money, federal money, to our community, to our states, to our counties, to our city. That's where these LWCF grants come from. That's where the DECA, LDOT grants come from that federal money.
I know the budget at my house and my household is something that I have to watch all the time. And it just seemed like yesterday Sylacauga was budgeting for this year, and you got it coming up for the next fiscal year soon.
Well, I have. All department heads, they got their spreadsheets. They're working on them now. We'll have a meeting Wednesday morning, and it'll be the first Wednesday of the month. And I always have a department head meeting on that Wednesday to fill everybody in and where we're at. And I plan to have this budget, as I have in the past, in the hands of the City Council on the first work session in October.
As I get older, I think more and more about retirement.
Do you?
And but I'm still working, that is for sure. But retirement's important to city employees, and we got the Tier 1 and Tier 2 conversation. What's this about?
The Tier 1, I think we had at one time, and in 2008, I believe it was, when the economy took a dive and everything else, and things changed on retirement and all, and they went to the Tier 2. It sounded good back then, but it's not as beneficial today. And the department's employees, they want to go back to the Tier 1, where they got more security and more benefits, and it means a lot to people coming to Sylacauga and working. Hey, they got this Tier 2. Look at the good retirement program they got. This is for long term, keeping our employees in there long term.
And we've got a lot of city employees too.
Well, yes, you sure have. You got about 138 of them. And one thing about it, not everybody's going to be qualified for it, but the longer we wait to put it into service, new employees coming in, it'll be more expensive in the long run. But I was given a number on approximately what it would cost, but these figures are not quite ready yet. HR is working on these to give the president of the council the total number of what it's going to cost. I believe the city would like to try to wait and look and see, put it into the budget, and have a better feel on it rather than doing it now. It's going to be, you're going to have to make a decision.
Most of the city council will remain intact after the election on Tuesday, a runoff in District 3, and really there's a little bit of cloudiness, even though the unofficial winner has been named, but we've got these provisional ballots coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow they'll be counting them up, yeah, they sure will. And then we'll know for sure whether it's going to wind up in a runoff or will stay conceded as the winner of that position in District 5.
So you'll get at least two, or you'll get two.
Well, yeah, it could force it into a runoff. That'll knock her out of her 51%, you know.
And you worked with Dallas Davenport, you worked with Donnie Blackman, and
I have.
They ran 4 years ago and won, weren't reelected this year, but they contributed to our city's growth.
Well, of course they did. I mean, the council voted pretty well even all the time. All 5 were on board, all 5 of them were there, they knew what was on the table, and they all voted for the same thing.
A lot of kids participate in activities from the Sylacauga Recreation Center here in town, J. Craig Smith Community Center. And, you know, we've got the pool issue that's not going away.
No, it's not.
We're going to have to deal with it. And, you know, which direction are we leaning on this? Any idea?
I don't know which way the council is going to go on this. I hope they would step back and take another look at it. Like I mentioned to you before, and I think it was February of the 20th of this year, it was pretty well, much of this was already laid out ahead of time. All the demolitions, all the programs for the thing, and the drawings and the engineering and all this stuff is pretty. Now, of course, council can do just about anything they want to because they got control of all the money and all the land. It's up to them. They're going to have to sit down and make this decision.
And you have input in it, of course. And
well, I've expressed my opinion. I have yet to find anyone who wants to replace our swimming pool with a splash pad. They want the swimming pool, and if you want to put a splash pad, put it there. But don't do away with our pool. The people are fanatical about keeping that pool because it's so beneficial to the young people, to the old people. Everybody can enjoy it.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl for a couple of more minutes with us here on Daybreak Live. Our first responders, police and fire departments are so important to our city, the safety of our city.
And that's very important to our city. And Nadeau's good, our new fire chief, he's doing a wonderful job. And Kelly Johnson with the police department, we're making sure they're completely and totally supplied with the necessities of what they need. And they're also looking after their employees. We've lost a good many police officers, and I understand this mainly because of salaries. The council made adjustment for the evening shift, you know, put another 50 cents an hour on theirs a couple of years ago, trying to hold them in that position there. But you got to take care of our employees, and that's my main job. You know, I got to look after them because I depend on them to provide the services for all our people. And that's why it's important to me to give them the equipment and the benefits that they can possibly do, get the council to back me on this.
Looks like wearing our mask has been helpful with slowing down COVID-19, even though July and August at Coosa Valley have been busy, but statewide we're seeing some daylight.
Well, we are, and we're even seeing daylight here, and this has paid off. Of course, the governor, as you know, last week put out another referendum saying that they go to October the 2nd. So we will continue the mask, and I find it wherever I go, people are adhering to it. Maybe one person I saw maybe a week ago walked into a place and he was asked to please go find a mask, and he did, he left. But overall, it's helping.
And you know, sometimes, Mayor, the citizens, including me, will have a mask in our pocket and we'll forget. You know, we'll start going into business and you see other people masks, oh, I got to get mine on.
I walked into Piggly Wiggly like that, and the guard there, you know, they hire a guard there, and I walked in and he said, "Sir," I said, "Yes." He pointed at me. I said, "Oh my gosh!" I reached in my pocket. I just walked in and just forgot you.
Got a lot of things on our mind.
We do, and
that's for sure.
We got to understand, you know, with everybody's adhering to it, and like you said, the numbers are starting to drop a little bit.
How does the mayor of Sylacauga work with other mayors in our area?
I communicate with them. We have issues. Centerpoint, we got something over there. I was communicating with the mayor in Childersburg about that issue there. A lady kept complaining about it. She was annexed into the city, but only her property was annexed into the city. We do not take care of the roads, and it was signed off some time ago that the county takes care of that. And so you have to communicate with your county. And Philip Morris, our new county commissioner, I know he's going to be very helpful. We need to work with them not only the mayors, we will be working with the mayors of Oak Grove, Childersburg, Talladega, and all, because we got animal issues, and we'll be talking about that.
It's all working with each other.
It is. You have to. That's the only way you get things accomplished, working together. Yes, you're going to get pro and con ideas, and everybody says, well, in my opinion, or in my mind, this, that, and the other, but that's just opinions. But we got to work them out, and what's going to be beneficial for the people today and tomorrow and the next day.
And before we go this morning, that 280 corridor is still a hot topic, and growth out there and more growth to come.
It is. When they go out there and resurvey the property for other businesses and everything, and I'm going to meet with somebody this morning. I got a call over the weekend and communicated with the president of the council, and we have somebody else looking at Sylacauga. We'll see this morning whether it'll pan out or not.
Big question that has been tossed around and posed to me many, many times, and of course I don't know, but we've often talked about a new grocery store coming in to Sylacauga on 280. Yeah, I know you haven't heard it. It's breaking news this morning.
Okay, breaking news.
But do you think that will come to fruition in the next year or so, maybe?
I think it's quite feasible.
Okay.
I do. I feel comfortable with it.
And the growth continues out there, and as well as downtown Sylacauga.
It has. Our tax revenue is up $250,000 through July of this year compared to through July of last year.
How many million?
$250,000.
That's good.
In sales tax. People are staying here in Sylacauga. They're shopping in Sylacauga. And you can see it everywhere you go. People are staying. And we want to keep it that way. We want to bring more of the 280 corridor up there and bring it down here where people won't have to travel all the way up there.
All right. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning. Mayor, always a pleasure, sir.
Well, thank you, Jimmy Dale. It's always a pleasure. I want to thank the citizens of Sylacauga for your confidence in me as your mayor. I'm always here to serve you, and that's what I'm here for, to serve you and provide you with the benefits and the services that you cannot provide for yourself.
All right. We got more Daybreak just ahead. Don't go away.